Hey guys, Paul here from familywheels.ca with another car review for your growing family. And here we are just getting into March, and already we've got our first 2017 model vehicle to review for you. It's the new 2017 Hyundai Elantra, and it's totally redesigned for 2017. A little bit longer, a little bit safer, a little bit bigger, and a lot more features on the inside as well. Now, what I'm really curious about with this car is how it's going to stack up with that Honda Civic that I was reviewing with you just a couple weeks ago on the show, because I really liked that car, and it did get the North American Car of the Year for 2016 as well. Really clever, thoughtful designs put into that, and when you look at this one comparatively, we're looking at a lot of the same price points, a lot of the same features, some similar interior design features as well as safety features. So, which one is going to stack up better? Let's take a look at the 2017 Elantra. I'll take it for a spin, put it through our standardized test. Stick around. We'll have all the details for you coming right up. I always see the size of these bags. So it's not just the Civic that we have competing with the Elantra. We've also got the Toyota Corolla, the Chevy Cruze, the Mazda 3, just to name a few. And I love how much the Korean brands, and Mazda for that matter, have really upped the game in terms of what you get for your dollar in this segment. So it means that when you're looking at a base price of about $16,000 here for this Elantra, that we've got some solid kit right off the hop, including heated front seats, heated side mirrors, we've got Bluetooth connectivity, air conditioning, as well as drive mode select down here. It's new for 2017, that allows you to cycle between eco mode, regular mode, and sport mode. So if you want a more sporty ride, you click into sport mode and you're going to have better reaction time in terms of throttle response. Your shifts are going to be faster and crisper on the transmission, and you're also going to have a bit of a different, stiffer steering feel. That's pretty cool for a car of that price tag to have that kind of thing involved right off the line. A couple of the things I was surprised not to see in the base trim here on the Elantra: cruise control and a backup camera, because a lot of the other companies are offering that right from the base trim upward. Now you can get 6 different trim levels of the Elantra, and the price climbs all the way up to the Ultimate package, which is just about $29,000. And the real difference are just some safety features that are tacked on, including lane keeping assist technology, adaptive cruise control, and forward collision brake mitigation. So if the car senses that you're not reacting quickly enough, it will actually brake for you and even help you avoid hit pedestrians if somebody jumps out at the last second. Otherwise, there's really not much that I'm lacking here in this package for about $27,000. I've got amazingly comfortable leather seats. We've got heated rear seats in the back row, new for 2017, an excellent Infinity sound system, which sounds superb. And on top of that, we have this pretty solid infotainment system. I really like the interface and the software that Hyundai uses. It's intuitive, it's straightforward, there aren't too many menus to wade through, and the navigation software is top-notch as well. But one thing I don't love about the infotainment system on this car is the voice recognition software. I find a lot of the time that it doesn't get what it is that you're asking for. Some other brands out there have done a much better job of tweaking that infotainment system with the voice recognition software for making it a little bit more user-friendly. But let's talk about the driving experience now in this car, because with the new Elantra, regardless of the trim that you get, you're going to have exactly the same engine on board, which is a new 2-liter 4-cylinder engine that Hyundai says is going to be more efficient, but also a little funner to get around in. I had high hopes that this car's engine would sound just a little bit better, because I found that historically in Hyundai cars, less so with its SUVs, the engine kind of has a bit of a cheap, twangy sound to it when you fire it up. Unfortunately, that's still the case here in the Elantra, and it also is a bit of a noisy ride. Hyundai's tried really hard for 2017 to improve upon the noise in the cabin of this vehicle, but you get the new Elantra up to highway speed, and you're going to find that even with the noise dampening in the wheel wells, in the pillars, and even underneath the engine bay, that it's still a little bit noisy in here. And when it comes to performance in the new Elantra, your socks are probably going to stay on your feet. I don't think they're going to get blown off by any means because it's not that interesting of a drive. We compare this to the 1.5 liter turbo that's an option available to you in the Civic, and that's a much funner, zippier car to get around in. Regardless of the trim that you're in, all but the base level trim of the Elantra comes with a 6-speed automatic transmission, and I'm finding that it's surging and searching around just a little bit more than I'd like. It's not that exciting of a car to drive, but the fuel efficiency is not bad. I'm seeing about 7.5 liters per 100 kilometers. That's mostly city driving as well. That's not bad for a car of this size. So Roger and I were on our way to swimming class, and this little guy decided not to have a nap today, so it really could go either way, hey pal? But one thing that I wanted to do before class was show you some of the things that I'm not so crazy about and some of the things I love about the Elantra. First up, you can see I'm in the back seat here, and for a tall guy at 6'2", I am just kind of maxing things out here in terms of headroom. My fro is kind of grazing the headliner in here. In terms of legroom, the Elantra has been given a couple inches of extra legroom for the 2017 model because it is a longer vehicle, and you can see here that even still, as a tall guy, I'm pretty tight back here when you've got a tall driver up front as well. Now, for the top two trims of the Elantra, one of the things I don't love is the fact that the driver's seat will actually come back and slide back automatically when you turn off the ignition and go to get out of the car. It's nice for accessing the driver's seat for the driver, but if you're back here, you're going to get pinned and squished, and for a tall person, that's going to be really uncomfortable. Now, when it comes to the back seat and accessing the trunk, I normally like to see a tilt tab right up here that allows you to pull the seats down and access the trunk and increase the cargo capacity. That's not an option here on the Elantra. What you have to do is go to these tabs right back here. It would be nice if we had both options. These are handy, but I'd like to see them up front as well. Now, when it comes to the trunk capacity on this car, we've got our standard amount of gear in here, a stroller, a backpack, a couple bags of groceries, a diaper bag, and a soccer ball back there, and you can see it just gobbles up that gear just fine. This isn't a huge trunk, but for a car of this size, it's not bad at all. I put Roger as front facing on this trip, and you can see what that looks like in terms of room for him up here, but we also set the car seat up as rear facing to see what that would do for legroom up front, and I've still got about 12 inches of legroom up front here, which is really excellent for a car of this size. In fact, a lot of SUVs can't touch that. You can see here tons of legroom up front, really not an issue at all, and my headroom up here in the passenger seat is really excellent as well. Now, one of the things I wanted to point out to you was the fact that the top level trims on this, the two top trims, are going to come with leather seats, and they're covered in these tiny holes and perforations that look great but aren't so great for cleanups and family life. These seats were designed originally because some really high-end vehicles have ventilated seats. It means the air conditioning is actually coming up and through those holes, but this car doesn't have that, yet it still has that look because it gives you that kind of high-end sporty kind of appearance, but they can just be a real pain for families, so that's one thing to consider. And one more thing I wanted to show you here is something that's available and very clever on some of the higher level trims of the Elantra. If you've got the smart key and push button start, you're also going to get an easy trunk access that makes it so much easier if you've got an armful of groceries. Check this out. All I'm doing is walking up to the car. You'll hear some audible beeps. There it goes, beeping. And after a few seconds, the trunk pops for you. No waving your foot underneath, trying to find that sweet spot and, you know, struggling with all those groceries. It'll just pop for you after sensing that the key's in your pocket. That's a really clever bit of kit for families. Well, Hyundai just continues to set the bar in my mind in terms of what you get for your dollar in a car like the Elantra, and that hasn't changed for 2017. It's just gotten better. It's so well kitted out. But you know what? The Hondas of the world, the Toyotas of the world have taken note because Hyundai's really set itself apart in this department. So now we've got Honda stepping up and giving you a lot of the same features that you'd find in this car, in a car like the Civic too, at about the same price point. So the question becomes, which brand are you going to lean toward more? Let's break down the Civic and the Elantra here because they're two vehicles that I've been in really recently. We look at the Civic, and I really like the fact that it has amazing resale value. It's been a top seller in Canada for years, and it means that it really holds its value much better than a Hyundai would. I also really like the sportiness in that new Civic. It's a lot of fun to drive around in with that new turbo on board. Where Hyundai stands apart is its 5-year, 100,000 kilometer warranty. If you wanted to try and match that warranty in a Honda, you'd wind up spending a lot more money on top of the base sticker price. So that's something to consider. But at the end of the day, here we've got a couple of excellent new additions to the compact, value-conscious, yet feature-filled sedan segment. And it's such a tight race, you're really gonna have to take them both out for a test drive and make your mind up on your own. If you already made up your mind though, and you know which way you'd lean, I'd love to hear from you and find out why. You can find me on Twitter at Family Wheels. You can also just leave a comment below. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel while you're at it. I'd love to have you join the ranks, and we'll see you in about 7 days in the next review. Thanks for tuning in.